What's going on, everybody? My name is Gerald Moore. I am the president of Green Environmental Outreach. I am a cannabis advocate, former Division I All-American athlete at Ohio University, tried out for the NFL in 2013. And since then, I have been working in corporate America. I've also been working in the nonprofit space, and I started my own business, G13 LLC, focused on health and wellness and helping young athletes attain their goals athletically. Recently, the state of Ohio legalized cannabis. As an African-American male, I've grown up in a community that has consumed cannabis all of my life. I've known about it. I've had families that have used it. And also I've grown up in an environment where we hear about the war on drugs and how this has impacted our communities. And then, how we treat our communities that have been, and the people that have been hurt by the war on drugs, tend to get left behind. And so recently I've started to do more content just to share what's going on, not only in my world, but in the world of cannabis, in and around the state of Ohio, but nationwide, because I believe obviously our plight and understanding of things going on needs to not only be where we are presently, but this is a global issue. This is a healthcare issue. This is an environmental justice issue. This is a human rights issue. So there's so many different things that intertwine when we come and talk about cannabis, because a lot of people just believe cannabis is just something for everybody to smoke and get high and laugh and do the things that the caricature of cannabis. There's no, I know people that are CEOs, from doctors to lawyers to NBA players, NFL players, college athletes, teachers, professors, janitors, cleaners, people, the gambit, the spectrum, right? White, black, yellow, brown. I know so many different people who consume cannabis. And so there's not a blanket that could just cover all of the aspects of cannabis. And I really don't speak for everybody. I speak for myself and my personal experiences. And at the end of the day, I speak up. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we need to understand as citizens of the United States of America. Freedom of speech, right? And being able to speak up for things that you believe in, and justice, and equitable justice for those who don't think that they could speak up, who don't think they have a platform and people listening to what they have to say or listening to their communities, because I am from that community and I'll always be from that community. I have family members who have been greatly and disproportionately impacted by cannabis and, the war on drugs. And I've watched it happen over and over again, where I get to move freely because I live in a different environment, because I can move differently. I've had access and I've had exposure to different worlds and different communities and how things work and move. And I've been protected in a sense because of the way I've been able to move. But I also am not ignorant to notice that that's a privilege that I have, and not everybody can move how I move. Not everybody can be in the rooms that I'm able to be in. Not everybody has the platform that I have. And so I feel it brings great responsibility, to know that I do have a voice and I do have the support of so many people in the community, but our power is more, we're more powerful as a collective, so we like to put one person out front, or we like to hail and celebrate people, but we all need to come out of the shadows, you know what I mean? A lot of people need to come out of the closet of, cannabis use, and not just be a bystander. A lot of people just want the laws to pass and they just want to live their lives, and they don't want to have a real impact and a real say. They just want to be the benefactors of things happening. And so in order for us to all benefit truly, equitably, we have to speak up. I don't know what everybody wants and needs. I have my own personal needs that, yes, I could be selfish, right? As an athlete and a football player, done a lot of damage to my body, just training and performing and competing at a very high level. And so cannabis for me is different than when I was, let's say 16, 17, 18 years old, and I was just smoking it because I was being a teenager that had been told that you shouldn't do this. And now all your friends are doing it, and they don't seem to be lazy. They're pretty smart and pretty bright individuals. They're doing it at their parents' homes, and people know. So my relationship with cannabis is completely different, but I also, again, grew up with family members who, I recently found out that my granddad had a cannabis plant in his basement when I was a baby. You know what I mean? So that was something I didn't know. My granddad passed away a few years ago. So unfortunately, we'll never be able to have, share a blunt together or share some cannabis together. But it's definitely been inspiring and empowering to know that my love and my passion for the plant isn't new. It comes from a long line. So I didn't want to wrap you guys too long. I actually brought you on because I recently came across an article on Twitter that I want to share with you all. And I want to start doing more content like this, just really to get the word out and help expound on the conversations that need to be had, especially here in Ohio and just nationally and globally. I feel like we don't really talk about a lot of this stuff enough. And so I found this article on the Ohio Capital Journal. Great resource for anybody in Ohio to really keep tabs on what's going on at the State House. The State House is the people's house. I know a lot of people may not, be privy of what goes on in Ohio. I know I surely wasn't, but Ohio, the governor and the Speaker of the House this past year just had the biggest racketeering scheme in the history of the state. It was worth about $6 billion, I believe, with First Energy Company. So I advise you all to look into that because that was a big story that, tended to, skate under the rug. But here is a new article. Struggle between large, small growers takes center stage in Ohio and marijuana reform measure. By Nick Evans, December 1st, 2021. And so a Senate measure that would expand significantly the state's medical marijuana system for businesses and patients got its second committee hearing Tuesday. The proposal is beginning to move as a different and more expansive recreational measure gathers signatures for next year's ballot. It's been 5 years since state lawmakers approved Ohio's current medical marijuana framework, and Senator Steve Huffman, Republican Tipp City, contends the program is underperforming. Only 57 dispensaries are up and running, about one for every 6,000 patients. Although nearly 250,000 patients are registered, only about 130,000 are active, and prices for medication remains high. All right. His proposal to update the program is SB 261. This legislation aims to guide the program in a way that is business friendly and creates greater access for patients at a lower cost, Huffman told the committee at the initial hearing. Huffman's most significant change is consolidating oversight responsibilities with the Department of Commerce rather than splitting them between Commerce and Pharmacy. He also thinks encouraging them to award licenses until they hit a benchmark of 1,000 patients per dispensary will increase access and eventually reduce costs. In addition to streamlining the regulatory framework, Huffman wants to clear out restrictions like gaining approval ahead of time for advertising and open the door to conveniences like curbside or drive-through pickup. The measure also grants additional square footage to licensed cultivators, but this is where the proposal faces pushback, ironically, from the cultivators themselves. Ohio regulators awarded licenses at 2 levels, and the license holders in both camps believe the other would gain an unfair advantage. Level 1 cultivators are larger and pay more in licensing fees. Level 2 was meant to give smaller operators a way into the market, and while fees are lower, the maximum square footage is far smaller as well. The handful of level 2 licensees who spoke before the committee argued the larger growers have a stranglehold on the market. They say even the proposed ceiling, more than double what they're currently allowed, leaves them at a significant disadvantage with larger cultivators. Tom Hobson, who serves as the CEO of Wellsprings Field, says they're consistently unable to meet the demand, and that the only barrier standing in their way is their square footage limitations. He argued lawmakers should eliminate the different caps in square footage and place the same ceiling on both groups. The notion that somehow level ones, and I've heard this argument, have taken more risk than level twos is frankly it's ridiculous, Hobson said. Most of them brought in large investors from outside of Ohio with deep pockets. They shared the risk. I didn't do that. I paid for it myself. In testimony at the proposal's first hearing, Buckeye Relief CEO Andrew Ryburn argued on behalf of a marijuana industry group that's granting additional square footage to smaller growers is inappropriate, and that it would be better to leave square footage limits out of the legislative language entirely, so regulators can react more nimbly and efficiently to further expansion in the marketplace. Still, although the growers in both categories level arguments about how the other stands to gain or maintain an unfair market position, they do appear to agree that there is more good than bad for them in the present bill. Despite complaints about the level 2 growers expanding, Rayburn described himself and 20 other large growers as supporters. And when pressed by the Senate Small Business and Economic Opportunity Chair, Michael Ruley, Republican, Salem, the level 2 growers who spoke agreed the proposal as it stands would be better than doing nothing. So we definitely need expansion in the cannabis industry, cultivation. I mean, access is very limited. The closest dispensary to me is I'm close by Easton. And so I could go to Verdant Creations, which is right by the airport, which is about 10 minutes away. So it's way closer than any other dispensary that I was close by before when I lived in other jurisdictions. I was living in Dublin and I was living in Grandview. Grandview actually has one about 5 minutes away from where we live from in city of Columbus. And then Dublin, the closest one was that one in Grandview. So Bloom Medicinal, you have Harvest, which is the only vertically integrated African-American led cannabis company in the state, female led. It's the first and only. And so when we talk about, obviously the struggles and growing the cannabis industry, I have no choice but to look at the equity standpoint. And there was a war on drugs that definitively attacked the Black and brown community squarely around cannabis. People were getting locked up, thrown out of their cars, searched for the smell of cannabis without even the police officers having probable cause and all these certain things, right? Or having, so human rights violations have happened, and we know more Black people locked up for nonviolent offenses in prisons still till this day, and probably in Ohio a lot, right? Ohio has a huge prison system, and so again, while we talk about legislative action to grow cultivation sites, How many of those cultivators are African-American owned? Only one, I just told you, fully vertically integrated African-American woman owns a dispensary or multiple dispensaries, cultivator, and processing. I know one African-American partially owned cultivator or processor, male owned. Other than that, you just saw the numbers. There's one dispensary for every 6,000 patients. Only 57 dispensaries are up and running. Ohio has 11 million individuals in it, citizens, 11 million. And that's on the smaller end. Only 57 dispensaries in the entire state, one for every 6,000. You have nearly 250,000 patients registered for the program, but only 130,000 are actually active, and the prices are too high. Now, remember, this is medication, this is cannabis. So every time I go to the dispensary, I'm one of the younger people on the spectrum in the cannabis dispensary because, you know, you have a lot of people, you have Alzheimer's, you have, let's just go and see, let's go and see the cannabis uses in Ohio. So this is the official, you know, cannabis page, medical marijuana, the Ohio Medical Marijuana Control Program, because they want to control everything, right? How many Black people sit on this board, by the way? So Board of Pharmacy published updated patient caregiver numbers for October. So let's read that. The updated numbers. So the state of Ohio Board of Pharmacy published updated patient and caregiver numbers October 2021. These numbers include 376,736 recommendations, 224,681 registered patients, 15,067 patients with veteran status, 16,662 patients with indigent status, 938 patients with terminal diagnoses, 133,196 patients with both an active registration and an active recommendation, 205,832 unique patients who purchased medical marijuana as reported by the OARRS by licensed dispensaries, 25,993 registered caregivers. For the full list of program numbers, please visit program update page. And so 20 level 1 provisional licenses for cultivators. So let's look, these are all of the cultivators. The Ohio Medical Marijuana Control Program cultivator licenses. You have 27, Fire Rock, level 2, Akron, Summit County. Now, I'm gonna put this on my YouTube, and if I have anybody that watches this that wants to, you know, jump on the squad and help me do this research, I would love to do the video and the research behind every single one of these companies and who's the CEO, who's on the board and leadership staff of all of these companies, and let's see the diversity, the equity and inclusion and ownership of cultivation facilities in the state of Ohio, which has pretty good population of African Americans, which is a pretty, and also our state is huge just economically. It's huge when it comes to politics and, you know, anything going on in America. If, you know, a president wants to win the election or the presidency, he typically has to win the state of Ohio. So, and there's no true equity clause in our program, by the way. So we got Fire Rock Limited, we got Ascension Biomedical LLC, we got Galenas LLC, we got FN Group Holdings LLC, we got Columbia Care Ohio LLC, we got AgriMed Ohio LLC, we got Buckeye Relief, who was in the the story that we read earlier. East Lake, we got OPC Cultivation, we got Grow Ohio, we got Ascend Wellness, we got Cresco Labs Ohio, we got Ohio Clean Leaf. I know Ohio Clean Leaf leader, and they are definitely down for the team. We do some great work together. And so shout out to Ohio Clean Leaf in Dayton, which is a level 2, which is one of those companies that would like to grow more and would like to help the community more, but there's only so much they can do. And they have some of the best cannabis in the program, hands down. Rivera Creek Holdings, ATCPC of Ohio, Ancient Roots, Pure Ohio Wellness, Standard Wellness Company, Verano Holdings, Farkas Farms, PharmaCann Ohio, Pure Ohio, Cure Leaf, Juicy, Certified Cultivators, Harvest Grows, and I believe that's the one African-American owned cultivator, female owned, vertically integrated. We'll find her information here soon. Acreage Holdings, Green Investment Partners, provisional license 7 here. We got Pharmaceutical RX, we got Tornado, Ohio, we got Paragon Development Group, we got GTI Ohio, we got Celio Jordan, we got Farmer Wellness, and Canamed. So those are all the cultivators, all the level 1 provisional license. So here is level 2. Some of the same ones are on here, so I'm not really seeing the difference there. But these are the numbers. At the end of the day, I'm a numbers person. I play football. It's X's and O's. It's inches, right? We play for inches. Inches. That first down, the inch between you and a touchdown could change the game. As a defensive player, the inch between 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 5 and a touchdown or whatever means I get another shot. I get another opportunity. So we got to look at the specifics. The numbers, the devils are in the details, okay? We could look at what's going on out in the world. We could talk about, what things look like. But what really matters is the numbers. When you want to talk about wealth and poverty and health and wellness and the numbers of COVID and all these different things, look at the numbers, especially when it comes down to money. It's all about the dollars and cents, right? How much money can you save? How much money can you move around and invest and hide from the government from taxing you, right? So we got to learn these games. We got to learn how America has been built on our backs and how they manipulated the system to leverage human capital, intellectual property, and all these different things to build wealth and generational wealth for their communities and their people. So you got to look in the numbers, you know what I mean? And these are all the numbers that we need to be looking at. These are recent numbers. And this is the cannabis industry. It was just illegal 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was illegal, but now, it's only medically legal though, right now. So you got to have a medical card. So obviously the black market, right? That brings, if you can't afford, because again, the prices are high. You heard me read that the prices are high. If you don't have money or access to get to the doctor to get a scan on your ankle. So I got a scan on my ankle. So that shows I have arthritis. Well, that's what I gave to my cannabis doctor to then be recommended cannabis. Because then you have to go to a cannabis doctor. You can't just go to a regular doctor because most doctors ain't really trained in the cannabis space. They don't tell you that. Most doctors don't even know every human has an endocannabinoid system, which is perfect for the receptors, which is receptors for cannabis, all the different components of cannabis. So again, there's a lot of education that needs to be had. And I'm learning that, hey, I kind of have to be one of those people to educate and disseminate the information. But we got to get on board and we got to understand our health and wellness is essential. And there are certain things, certain plants and certain things that we have that can help. And again, like I said, cannabis isn't all about consuming, getting high. You have CBD, which you don't get high off of CBD, but it helps with inflammation. It helps with pain management, helps with sleep, helps with a lot of different issues that people have. And so, but also when you come to the cannabis plant, you have hemp. Hemp is going to help clean our soil. It's going to help us environmentally. It's going to help us reduce creating plastics that aren't biodegradable for thousands of years and end up in landfills or end up in the water, end up in our systems, where you can put hemp in plastic bottles. Now, this isn't a hemp plastic bottle, and obviously it's clear right now, you can't see it, but it breaks down faster. You can make plastics with hemp, which will allow it to be more biodegradable. You can also use hemp to clean the air, clean the soil, make furniture out of, make so many different things. And so this is new, right? It's been around for thousands of years, right? But it's America, right? It's the world that we live in. They've demonized it, they've taken it away, and now they're bringing it back. But again, the only way you can get in, oh yeah, you got hemp creek that's going to build houses and stuff like that. Also doesn't catch on fire, right? Fire resistant, or I forget the actual term, but also an insulator. So you got to understand. We have to understand. There's a lot of old forces working against things that, it's destiny, right? So we have to understand what's going on. Physicians, 639 certificates to recommend cannabis. Let's see. We'll go on there just so we can see all the numbers. Now I have a Black cannabis doctor. It's a family firm, and they are amazing, the Williams, and they're doing great work in the cannabis space. Green Harvest Health, Dr. Bridget Williams. All right, this is what I like to see. All right, sales figures as of 11/29/2021. 70,872 pounds of plant material. 6,261,224 units of manufactured product. 625.4 million in product sales. 4,643,535 total receipts. Plant sales average $26.51 per 1/10 OZ. Manufactured sales average 41.45 per unit. Now, this is how they hide stuff from us. We don't go into the details, people. We don't go into the spreadsheets. You need somebody to go into the spreadsheets and break the money down, okay? Because this is where they hide the money, man. This is where they hide the money. So this is showing you week ending, all the weeks, capsules sold. So you can see July 2,055 capsules sold, edibles sold. So, and then you can see what is really selling. So a lot of people is really liking the edibles, right? A lot of people like the edibles. The topical lotions. So you don't get a lot of people selling the topicals, but in May, a lot of people bought some topicals. Vape oil sold. A lot of people like vape oil sold. I'm a vape head myself. It's easy, discreet, and I can take it wherever I want to go. And I always feel amazing. Oils sold, not so many oils. Topical ointments sold, not so many topicals. Tinctures, not a lot of tinctures. Patches, not a lot of patches. Plant materials sold. Lots of plant, baby. Lots of plants being sold. Total sale in plant. So you can see the amount of sales that they are making off of weed, which was illegal 5 years ago, people. People are still locked up right now for weed, but they selling millions of dollars in Ohio, medical marijuana program, and it's medical. 4 million, 3 million, 4 million, 3 million, 4 million, 3 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 million, 4 million, 3 million, 3 million, 3 million, 3 million, 4 million, 3 million. Woo! How many niggas in the program? Come on now. I'm telling you, we have to speak up. There needs to be cannabis rallies. There needs to be tons of cannabis education directed towards the African-American, Black and brown, people of color in our community. This is health and wellness first and foremost. This is people suffering from PTSD. Our whole community is suffering from PTSD. Not only do we got to deal with past traumas of, slavery, right? Being enslaved and then having to be forced to live in a place where we as American as they come. If anybody should be patriotic, it should be us. But guess what? We are not benefiting from this cannabis program in Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Cincinnati, all around the state. And this is just Ohio. This doesn't, then you could probably go in every single state. I'm just bringing this up because I'm in Ohio and, I've been a part of the program and I just don't hear enough people, shouting from the rooftops about what's going on here in this cannabis program. Michigan has a recreational cannabis program blowing us out the water. You know what I mean? So Ohio not just losing to Ohio State in football this year. We losing to Ohio in the medical marijuana game and the legal game or the recreational game. So again, we're gonna go to capsule sales. 70,000, 70,000, 77,000, 60,000, 80,000, 70,000, 77,000. We ain't there. Where you at? Who getting the money? Edible sales, 1 million, 900,000, almost 1 million, 900,000, million, 900,000, million, 900,000. Come on, man. 40,000 for the topical sales. We have to understand this is the game right here. This is how they see the game. This is what American capitalism is. It's based on numbers. And if you ain't focused on the numbers, you just focus on about what bar, what club you going to, what chick you about to hit off, who on your block, who hustling on your block. It don't matter, man. You playing the wrong game, the wrong one. Ohio Department of Commerce Medical Marijuana Control Program historical sales data, April 30th, 2019, 673 pounds of plant material, 5.2 million in product sales, 2,544 units of manufactured product. Come on, man. 36,796 total receipts. Where are your receipts at? Keep your receipts. May 6th, 2019, 750 pounds of plant material, 5.8 million in product sales, 41,000 total receipts. May 13th, a week later, 820 pounds of plant material, 6.5 million product sales. 2 weeks later, another historical moment, 892 pounds of plant material, 7.3 million. Next week, another big number, 991 pounds of plant material, 8 million product sales. June 3rd, next week, 1,000 pounds, 8.7 million products. You think the program going well? You think cannabis is a viable product? You think people are benefiting from medical cannabis? You think this is helping? Come on, man, open the floodgates, dog. Home grow, at least 12 plants per person. Minimum. Get out of here. Grow weed, man. Be a caregiver. Help your community. June 10th, 1,000 pounds, 9.7 million. June 17th, the next week, 1.2 pounds, or 1,000 pounds, 10.6 million. Come on, man. Just look at the game. This is the game. June 24th, the next week, every week, they hit new numbers, new historical numbers. The program has been open for 5 years and it's only been really running for 3 because you can see this is when they started calculating the numbers, April 30th, 2019. So it's only really been up and going for 2.5, 3 years. Not even 2 years. About to be 2022. So, come on, man. 1,000 pounds, 10.6 million, 1,000 pounds, 11.5 million. Look at that. I'm showing you the numbers: 12.4 million, 13.5 million, 14.5 million, 15.5 million, 16.7 million. Where is the tax money going from all of this weed being sold, Ohio? Where's all the tax money? It ain't going to the Black community. I could guarantee that. The African Americans ain't seeing none of this, especially not in the pandemic. Every time I go to the joint, I may see a couple flickered in there. Every time I go to an event, it's only a couple. I've hosted events. I'm speaking come on, man. I'm speaking to a physicians group on Wednesday about cannabis. Come on, man. Just a shameless plug. Athletes in Cannabis.com. Website's down right now, but follow the wave. Green environmental outreach. I got to show y'all this. It's not illegal to show you this. This is proof. You're seeing me. I'm on their website. You got to go do the work. 26 million September. See, my birthday, the day after my birthday, September 1st is my birthday. 23,553 million. 23,553, 145 million. Look at the receipts, man. They got the receipts. They got to keep the receipts, people. Go ahead, fast forward. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to where we at 2021. Let's go ahead and fast forward. These are the numbers we got to look at, people. November 29th, where we at? 70,872 pounds of plant material sold. Units of manufactured product, 6,261,224. Total product sales, $625 million, $472,056. Total receipts, 4,643,535 total receipts. Plant sales average $26.51 per 1/10 OZ. Manufactured sales average $41.45 per unit. The numbers don't lie, right? Like, how many folks we got in the prison system in Ohio for weed? How many people that look like me got the melanated caramel skin brown? You know what I mean? How many of us own cannabis, legal cannabis facilities? And I'm talking big money. I'm talking factories. I'm talking farms. Come on, man. Now, a hemp license in Ohio is only $600. So if you got some land, go buy some land. Let's build a cooperative. Let's go buy 100 acres of land. Let's go buy 200 acres of land, and we build a co-op. So if you down, hit me up. I know what I'm doing, man. So, it takes a team, right? It takes a village. We have to come together. We have to put our money together. We have to put our skill sets together. We have to change the game. You know what I mean? Like, we not living in an old game. You know what I mean? So again, I'm showing you where the tools is at. This is it. This is it. They just the board of pharmacy just began. You could put in requests for new dispensaries. Now, what's the cost to get in, right? $200K just to apply, not guaranteeing you're gonna win. And when you do win, you got to have the money for the facility. So, you got to have investors, because you at least got to have 2 to 10 million just to start. That's kitting out your cultivator. That's kitting out your dispensary. That's security. That's making sure plant. That's hiring people. You know what I mean? That's materials. That's, come on, man. The expenses, man. The electricity, the water. Come on, man. To even play the game, you got to pay to play. And they're not showing you this. You could go online and they not reading out the information. They ain't got nobody sitting there reading out the information, all these numbers. Now let's look at the advisory committee, right? Now, again, I'm going to put this out there. I'm putting this up on my YouTube page. Anybody that sees this, anybody that wants to take on this challenge and help me just to bring a lot of things to light, right? Media is important, right? And sharing information is important. So the Medical Marijuana Advisory Committee is coordinated by the State of Ohio Board of Pharmacy. Per Ohio law, the committee may develop and submit to the Department of Commerce, State Board of Pharmacy, and State Medical Board any recommendations related to the Medical Marijuana Control Program and the implementation and enforcement of the related Ohio Revised Code. Its membership includes the following: Megan E. Marshall, Pharma D, practicing pharmacist and member of the State of Ohio Board of Pharmacy. Stephanie M. Abel, Pharm D, practicing pharmacist. Tony E. Coder Jr., representing persons involved in the treatment of drug and alcohol addiction. Michael G. Hirsch, representing agriculture. Sheriff Matthew Triglia, representing local law enforcement. Jason Caseman, representing labor. Robert Kowalski, representing patients. Megan Lawrence, representing caregivers. Dr. Jerry W. Mitchell Jr., practicing physician. Nancy Walsh Masca, CNP, practicing nurse. Marcy Siddle, representing persons involved in mental health treatment. Dr. Amal Soin, I don't know how to say that, Soin, apologize if I'm brutalizing that, practicing physician and member of the State Medical Board of Ohio. Michael Stanek, representing employers. Gary Wink, engages in academic research. Now, meeting materials, I don't see any meetings related to, let's see. Now you can see this, right? Meeting agenda. Let's go to the meeting agenda, folks. I'm going to take you to the devil's in the details. This is the Ohio Medical Marijuana Control Program. The agenda from March 25th, 2021. The advisory committee meeting will be held virtually via Microsoft Teams. Click here to join the meeting. To join by phone, call 614-721-2972 and use access code 390928696. Now, I'm being egregious reading everything, okay? But if you made it this far, you just gonna, just listen, just watch, right? The advisory committee will not be accepting testimony or public comment at this meeting. They let you know, if you're not on this committee, if you from the public, no testimony, no public comment. We don't care. Roll call and minutes review, advisory committee members. Medical Marijuana Control Program update, patient and caregiver registration, dispensary update, blah, 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 blah. So they just, again, they show you though, right? So all I'm trying to do is just show y'all what it really is. What it really is. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Let's see. All right. So I've been on here way longer than I really expected to. But again, we have to do the homework. We got to do the research, right? The numbers is where it's all at. And, our community, man, we got to step up, we got to, if we want better, you got to do better. If you want more, you got to do more, right? If you want access, you have to understand how to get access. And that's it. You know what I mean? It's no longer, we need to be waiting to get handouts. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how life is. Like, if you want something, you go get it. If you want something, you make it happen. If you want something, you study, research, and you learn how to go get it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to steal. We don't have to take. I didn't steal or take anything. And I just read millions of dollars and where the money's going and where the money at. You know what I mean? So we got to understand what's really happening, but we have to get involved in the conversation. We got to, I was at the State House about a month or two ago, lobbying. We got to lobby the politicians, man. Like, instead of paying off your drug dealer, go pay off a politician. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, we have to do the work. It's no longer we just need to be living in poverty. Like that, like, no, that's not the way it is. Like, and free all the homies, man. Free everybody that's locked up for cannabis offenses, man. Nonviolent cannabis offenses in Ohio. Yeah. So again, thank you all for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. Please like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, any ideas, please hit me up in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram at Gerald Moore Jr., Twitter, Gerald Moore _Jr. You can follow my nonprofit. I am the president of a 501c3 nonprofit, Green Environmental Outreach, also known as GEO. So you can follow us on Instagram at GEO Nonprofit. We are always accepting donations to help us support our environmental justice movement in urban communities. We go into urban communities and we turn vacant properties into community gardens. We also create pocket parks for the children and communities that live there, doing beautification projects and helping clean the environment. So any support would be greatly appreciated. You can go to, let me see, I might be able to pull it up just to get it quick, GoFundMe real quick. But yeah, we appreciate the support always, so here's my page right here. So yeah, you can just go to our fundraiser. I'll make sure I put the link in this description, but here's the link right here. I'm gonna go ahead and tweet it out real quick. But yeah, we have to, man. It's imperative. It's imperative that we stop all the violence over BS and get to the real bag, man. Get to the real prosperity. That's what I'm all about. Like, I'm not here for the games, y'all. Like, I'm really not. Like, I know you can't bullshit a bullshitter neither. You know what I mean? Like, I done seen too much. I've experienced too much. I've had too much loss, too much trauma. I been in too many rooms, too many tables. I done built my own door. You know what I mean? Like, I create my own thing. And so for me, it's not about self for me though. You know what I mean? Like, it's about my community. It's about my people. It's about my family. I got brothers that have been in and out of the prison system, and they can't control it. You know what I mean? Like, they can't help it. Whole time we still selling dime bags and 20 bags when they making millions. Why sell a dime or a 20 sack when you could be selling pounds? Yeah. But that's all I got for y'all today. Thank y'all for coming to my presentation. I hope you all learned something, and I'll be back. Peace.